What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dee Hankins Show, where we talk about life, help you with your curveballs, and celebrate your home runs. For the last few weeks, we have talked about physical resilience. We've joked about movement. We've laughed about sleeping and brain trash and even drinking more water. After rewatching some of my episodes and looking at the shorts and the reels and things that I've sent you all, which I appreciate you all watching and commenting on and liking and sharing, I've noticed that I've been very funny. And so for this episode, I gotta cut the music, okay? We have to have a serious family meeting because although we've been laughing about skipping the gym, we've been dancing around a reality. And that reality is neglecting your physical health has a cost. And that bill always comes due. We talk a lot about curveballs on this show, but the hardest curveball to hit is the one that you threw at yourself because you refused to face the mirror. You refused to look at yourself and face the truth. We are rounding out the physical resilience pillar today. No jokes, no hacks, just raw, uncut, straight to the point truth about what happens when you neglect your physical resilience. This is episode 14. The bill comes due. Let's get into it. We talked about financial resilience in the last series. That included building wealth, leaving a legacy for your kids, and breaking the generational cycle of poverty. But this is the truth. You can't build generational wealth if you're dead. And you can't leave a legacy for your kids if you leave your family drowning in medical debt. There is nothing, trust me, nothing more taxing on your just on your core four in general than a sick body. Think of the cost of insulin, blood pressure medication, major surgeries, long-term care because you can't walk on your own anymore. All right, dentist trips, fillings, drillings, all these things that just add up, ambulance calls, staying in the hospital bed stays, all of these things that just add up immensely over time, exponentially over time because you chose not to take care of yourself. If you ignore your physical resilience, you're literally lighting a match to your financial resilience. All the stuff, all the hard work that you use to save ultimately is going to go to a hospital system instead of your children. And the mental cost is devastating. Chronic pain is a mental prison. Being breathless because you walked up one flight of stairs, not being able to play with your children, like that stuff plays a role. The cost of neglecting your physical resilience is not just a number. It's not just a financial number, but it literally costs you your freedom. As always, in order to figure out where to start, we have to go to the buckets, okay? The three buckets: my choices, your choices, acts of God, aka things that are out of your control. And this may sting a little bit, but your physical health is a my choice scenario. Your health is a my choice. We love to blame genetics. We love to blame being big boned, and we love to blame time. But the truth of the matter is, for 90% of us in the US, our physical health is a direct result of the choices that we have made over the last decade. You are where you are today because of the choices that you have made. That's just the truth. My choice to prioritize Netflix over going to the gym or moving. It's my choice to prioritize fast food over learning to cook or cooking my own food. It's my choice to sit on the couch for 2 years instead of doing something productive with myself. It is my choice. And this isn't about shaming you. It's about empowering you. If you chose to get into this mess, you can choose to get out. You have to look into the mirror and you have to say, this is on me. I did this. And if I did this, I can fix this. You don't have to wait for anybody else. You don't need to download another weight loss program, or you don't need to buy another cookbook. You haven't used the ones that you have already, right? You just have to look into the mirror and you have to verbally express, this is on me. I did this. If you look at yourself and you're overweight and you got, fat in places that there shouldn't be, that's on me. If you're smoking a pack of cigarettes every day, you have to say, that's on me. And you have to do the things that you need to do to fix your body. Your body is resilient. And if you make the choice, right, before it's too late, if you make the choice to say, okay, I'm going to do whatever needs to be done to get my health back, your body will respond to that way. Because if you just been eating junk and crap, and don't remember, I'm not telling you anything that I'm not telling myself, okay? I look at myself sometimes and I go, D, you got to do better, man. You have to do better, okay? My choice. We have to live in that my choice bucket. Now, this doesn't excuse the other buckets, right? I know the fight isn't fair, all right? And this is where the your choices bucket, other people's decisions, okay? You got billion-dollar companies that are continually to throw you ads about the newest burger, about the newest, this and that. Every food commercial is followed by a new medical pill that can solve this, Ozempic and all this other stuff, okay? To get you to be like, look, you can eat what you want. There's a pill for that. I get that. I get that they're throwing that at you. But we live in a world that is designed to keep you sick. And it's working to a T, okay? It's designed to keep you sick. The awesome thing about that, though, is you have the power to walk out of the line. You have the power to make a difference, okay? Remember, they're only advertising to people that are willing to fall for it. It's not your fault that fresh foods cost more than processed foods. It's not your fault that these companies spend billions of dollars in marketing towards your children to say, I want that, I want that. They know that your kids can sometimes influence your decisions, right? It's not your fault that your boss makes you sit at your desk for 10 hours and not move and only give you a 15-minute break. Like, I know that stuff. And these are things that are out of your control, okay? These are external enemies, but you can't let the enemy win. Although the fight is rigged, that just means that you have to fight that much harder. Then there's bucket number 3, natural disasters, acts of God, AKA things that are out of your control. Now, this is always the most difficult bucket because nobody has a say-so in this. Nobody. You don't. Nobody does. It's just natural things that happen. So it's a random cancer diagnosis. Even if you're healthy, you're in shape, you go to the gym, you eat well, you eat organically, you do all these things, and you get breast cancer. That is out of your control. And that's hard, right? It's definitely hard. It's definitely difficult. Same thing with a genetic condition that triggers despite your best efforts, right? These things are hard. I get that. But here's the urgent point. You cannot stop natural disasters from happening. However, your physical resilience, where you are on your physical resilience journey, is the difference between a natural disaster killing you or just wounding you. It's the difference between a natural disaster taking 6 weeks away from your life or taking your life. If you enter chemotherapy with a strong heart, okay, good muscle mass and a healthy mindset, your chances of survival skyrocket. Versus if you enter chemotherapy weak, tired, exhausted, frail, burnt out, your odds of survival now dip like completely. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of you that may watch this and you've had healthy parents or even healthy kids that had a random cancer diagnosis that went in and they lost all hope. And this is, I want to share this personal story with you because I had this happen to me. Something happened, okay? My daughter was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer when she was 4 years old. And my first time ever walking in, like as an adult, walking into a children's hospital, right? Especially the chemotherapy and cancer wing and things like that. You know what I saw? Kids just still want to play. Kids just, even though they're strapped up and their heads are bandaged and they have tubes and stuff coming out of their arms and all that stuff, they still want to play. They still find the strength to get up, play with their friends, and do all of these things. You know who's the downer in the room? The parents. I saw this with my own eyes multiple times. I saw parents crying about how they'll never be able to see them graduate high school and never be able to get married, and you'll never watch them grow old. And kids would cling on to that. They would see that their parents lost hope, and therefore that is when their light started to go out. And I saw this. I saw this in our own room, and it was just like, man, I got to do something. I got to do something different. And although it's sad, and as a parent, you'll trade places with your kids. A good parent will trade places with their kids, no problem, because it's hard. It's hard to watch your kid go through that stuff. It's hard to watch your kid go through chemotherapy and literally waste away. But kids are resilient. Actually, kids are more resilient than we are sometimes. And sometimes it just takes that healthy mindset from everybody in the room to boost the level and the chances of survival for your kid or your loved one or so on and so forth. And so at this time, my daughter was going through this. I was an athlete, man. I was in tip-top shape. I've always had this positive mindset. You know what I'm saying? I've always been funny and laughing and doing things. And some people say you don't take things too serious. It's like, no, I take it very serious. I'm just positive about things. My faith is unwavering. Dog, like my faith is unwavering. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that there's a lesson that can be learned. Even if you don't know what the reason is, there's a lesson that can be learned. And so I hold on to that. And so when my daughter was going through whatever she was going through, I changed my mindset. And yeah, I had my sad days, but for the most part, anytime me and my little one were in there together, we were doing stuff that kept her happy, that made her happy. We're playing the ukulele and playing with dolls and acting out stuff and dancing and doing all of these things, man. And I'm proud to say, now she's 19 and she's thriving and she's doing her thing. So it works. And I'm not just telling y'all this because, I just want to make you feel good or make you feel bad. I'm telling you this because I lived it. Okay, I lived it. And your financial resilience is your physical resilience is so crucial, especially when it comes to natural disasters, things that are out of your control. Things are going to happen to you. It's not if, it's always going to be when. And it's super serious for some people. It's not as serious for other people. But if you're not prepared, something minor can become something major. And if you are prepared, something major can become something minor. So your physical resilience is the armor that you wear when an inevitable curveball comes your way. All right, we'll be right back. As you know, my passion is to help people build resilience, and it's a journey I've been on my entire life. That's why I created the Dee Hankins At Best Student Development Program. I started the program because I once was a student facing major curveballs, and I want to show students that they have a chance at a successful future, no matter their background. We empower students with a 6-step framework called Win Your Challenges. And we build a network of support between students and parents and caring adults in their lives. If you're a parent, educator, or administrator and want to learn more about how we build bridges and transform school communities, I invite you to visit my website, deehankins.com. That's DeeHankins.com to learn more about how you can bring the At Best program to your school. Welcome back, y'all. Look, I know I'm lecturing you. I know I'm all up in your face and all up in your ear, but I say all this to say, as a speaker for the last 20 years, I've been in rooms with broken adults, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 45-year-olds, 65-year-olds, 75-year-olds. I've been in the room with decades of different people, different genders, different ethnicities, different everything broken. And all of their core four. 70-year-olds looking at their clock quickly start to tick down and have nowhere to go. They're scared, they're frightened. And the truth of the matter is this, man, I want you to spend time with your grandkids. I want you to be here. You only get one life, and we treat it as if it's nothing. We treat it as if it's not a gift. We treat it as if it's just whatever. And it's not just whatever. You are here for a reason. And the less you take care of yourself, the less opportunity you have to help other people. Your story, all the things that you've been through is inspiring. And if you keep self-sabotaging, you don't get to see that. And I want you to see that. I want you to be here. I want you to be healthy. I want you to stop being racist. I want you to bounce back from your mom and dad not being here. I want you to bounce back mentally and physically and spiritually. I want you to find a place. I want you to find your faith again. I want you to find your hope in humanity again and the hope in yourself again. I want that for you. This is the reason why I started this podcast in the first place. I want people to succeed, whether you like me or not. I still want you to succeed in the most vulnerable yet crucial areas of your life, which is your core four: spiritually, financially, physically, and mentally. But man, if you neglect your spiritual health, you are going to die faster than you were designed to, faster than you were designated to. Self-sabotage, man. So let's get it together, okay? This is my urgent plea to y'all, man. You have a purpose that the Creator has given you. God has given each and every one of us a purpose. And I promise you, it was not to gain an extra 200 pounds so you can spend all of your savings and all of your money in a hospital bed. It doesn't work that way. He gave us the mindset and the discipline, and he gave us this core four so that we can utilize all of it, our mental resilience, our physical resilience, and our financial resilience, to boost up our spiritual resilience. Because if you're great in your spiritual core, you can do so much for everybody else. So this is my challenge for y'all this week, and it's a difficult one. I need you to have a meeting with yourself. I need you to look at your My Choice bucket, and I need you to ask this very poignant question. If I keep making the exact same choices I've made this week for the next 10 years, will I live to see the results? If the answer is no, you got to make a change. And you have to make it today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not next episode. You have to make it today. Not when you get home. You got to make it today. Wherever you're listening to this, you have to make that decision today. Again, ask yourself, if I make the exact same choices that I've made this week for the next 10 years, will I live to see the results? No curveball corner, no home run highlights this week, but thank you for allowing me to be real with you. Thank you for allowing me to yell at y'all a little bit. Now, I want to hear from you next week. If you made that decision today, I don't care if you've already submitted a home run highlight or a curveball. If you made that decision today that you're going to make some change, the moment you're able to hop on my website, www.deehankins.com/podcast, I want you to submit a story. Tell me where you're coming from. And I want you to say, Dee, I heard your podcast. I want to make a change. I'm dedicated to making that change, and tell me a small thing that you're going to do. That's it for this episode. Next week, we hop into mental resilience, which is the glue that holds it all together. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you guys next week. And remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home runs.